Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining me. Welcome to this edition of A Look Back. I'm Mike, and today we are going to discuss Saturday's WWE Royal Rumble. It was the 36th edition of the Rumble, and what a Rumble it was. On the card that night was Roman Reigns defending his Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Championship against Kevin Owens. You had Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss, Bray Wyatt and LA Knight in a Mountain Dew pitch black match, and then the two Royal Rumbles, the men's and women's. Let's look at the card itself. I got to see a great deal of it. I may have missed the first few minutes of the men's Rumble, but other than that, it was a very good, well put together card. Bray Wyatt defeating LA Knight in that Mountain Dew pitch black match. And how about Uncle Howdy at the end making his appearance with the leap onto LA Knight and driving him through the platform. Bianca Belair defeated Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. And you had Roman Reigns defeating Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Sami Zayn during that match was a key player. He was torn between Roman Reigns, his tribal leader, and his old friend and nemesis sometimes, Kevin Owens. The match afterwards, after the victory by Reigns, you saw Sami Zayn trying to stop the beatdown of Owens, who was ultimately handcuffed to the ring ropes. And he took the steel chair, hit Roman Reigns in the back, and proceeded to be beat down himself for doing so. So there's the end of that one. Of course, like I said, Bianca Belair defeating Alexa Bliss. Pretty good match, I gotta say. I'm not really all that keen on Bianca Belair, but yeah, what the heck. Bray Wyatt defeating LA Knight again. That was a great match. A lot of people don't like the Bray Wyatt gimmick. I actually do. There's some things that I would do with it that not a lot of people probably would, but we won't go into that either. And that Women's Royal Rumble match, that was a great match. 30 of the top talents in WWE. You had a returning Nia Jax in that match. You had Liv Morgan, Dana Brooke, Emma, Shayna. There were quite a lot of other people. Bayley, Dakota Kai. Ultimately, you had Rhea Ripley victorious. She entered at number 1 with Liv Morgan at number 2, and they finished that way. So there are two good combatants that survived over an hour in the Rumble match. Depending on who you listen to, Rhea Ripley now holds the record for the longest time in the match, if you count Liv Morgan being eliminated, giving her a 1-second advantage on that record over Liv Morgan. It was a great match, though. The Men's Royal Rumble match, I think we all saw that one as it was. Great match. Again, you had the top talent of WWE in the match. Gunther entering at number 1, and he stayed in there a very long time. I think he actually was in there for 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds. And according to what I'm showing, it set the new record for the longest time spent in a traditional Men's Royal Rumble match at 1:11:40, breaking the record previously held by Rey Mysterio. Speaking of Rey Mysterio, did anybody notice he was slated to be, I believe, number 18 in the match, but he never showed? After that, Dominic entered at 19. Apparently, something happened to Rey. He was injured and couldn't make the Rumble, so they played it off as Dominic and the Judgment Day attacked him in the back. Of course, you had a returning Cody Rhodes enter at number 30 and he was in there for a little over 15 minutes, eliminated 5 people, and captured the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. Again, what a great card it was. Some great names on there. You had a returning Beth Phoenix. Pat McAfee returned for the Rumble to join the commentating team. Booker T was a big highlight in the Men's Royal Rumble. Good to see Booker back. He's in such great shape for the age he is. I think somewhere in his mid-50s, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look. But it was great seeing him. If you notice and actually watch that match, when he enters and everybody's laying on the mat, you see Sheamus over in the corner, and I swear he's going to bust a gut watching Booker do the spin-a-rooney. A couple things I do want to talk to everybody about is this weekend, Saturday, February the 4th, from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. at the Ashland Town Center, Time Warp is going to have Shane Douglas, Sean Hernandez, and Chase Stevens on hand for a meet and greet with the fans. Also, the following week, on the 11th, Time Warp will have Kane on hand at their Ashland Mall location from 11 to 2 p.m. signing autographs, so everybody can come out again next Saturday and meet Kane. That evening in Williamson, West Virginia, ASW All-Star Wrestling will have their My Bloody Valentine show. That's going to be a great show. All the stars of ASW is going to be on hand, along with Buff Bagwell, Heath Slater, Brock Anderson, and Arn Anderson. I'm sure that's going to be a great event. Then on March the 11th, at the OUC Shoemaker Center in Chillicothe, Ohio, World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling will have their Glory Days Bash, the Reunion 2. On hand will be stars such as Mr. Hughes, Bill Apter, Dan Severn, Jackie Fulton, Bobby Fulton, Shark Boy, Sabu, Ron Simmons, Too Cold Scorpio, Jerry Saggs and Brian Knobs, Henry O. Godwin, Shane Douglas, Enzo. You'll have Jimmy Valiant, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Axe and Smash and Demolition, Nikita Koloff, the Honky Tonk Man, Brother Devon will be there, Rob Van Dam, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Carlito is going to be on that card, as well as just announced the other day, Sting, and also today announced Rob Conway will be there, along with Rip Rogers and many more at World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling's Glory Days Bash, the Reunion 2. On March 31st, Time Warp will be having a private signing with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. All mail-ins must be at the downtown Time Warp location by March 31st. So you want to contact Time Warp about that. Put a link in the comments box for theirs, as well as World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling and ASW All-Star Wrestling, West Virginia. Coming up on May 6th, Time Warp will be having their Bluegrass Wrestling Convention number 4 at the Boyd County Community Center in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Come out and see everybody. There'll be all sorts of stars on hand. Larry Zbyszko will be there. Tito Santana, Jerry the King Lawler, Kurt Angle, Barry Horowitz, Ted DiBiase, Mike Rotunda, as we all knew him. They'll call him IRS if they want to. Jimmy the Mouth the South Heart, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Bobby Blaze all will be on hand for that event. So come out May 6th to see the stars at Time Warp's Bluegrass Wrestling Convention number 4. I also want to remind everybody on May 14th, at the Ashland Mall location, Time Warp will have WWE legend Mick Foley on hand for an autograph meet and greet. So come out on May 14th and see Mick Foley at the Ashland Mall location for Time Warp. It's going to be a great event there. Mick Foley, of course, is a classic. We knew him as Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love. So come out and see Mick Foley. On August 26, 2023, Pikeville's Comic and Toy Convention will take place at the Appalachian Wireless Arena in Pikeville, Kentucky. I haven't heard any announcement on names, but I'm sure in years past there were some great names there, and this year should be no different. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. I've really enjoyed doing this. The Twitter page is taken off. We've got the Facebook page going, the YouTube channel, of course. So much is going on right now. Like I said, we're on Twitter at albwMike, as well as Instagram, same thing. On YouTube as albwMike, and on Facebook at A Look Back with Mike. So you all check us out there. I appreciate everybody for stopping by again. Check out World Classic Professional Big Time Wrestling, Time Warp, and ASW All-Star Wrestling West Virginia for further details on their events. You can field questions to them, and I'm sure that they will be glad to answer them as quickly as possible. Just be patient. I'm sure they're getting a lot of questions about these shows. And again, it's going to be fun. Well, that wraps it up for this edition of A Look Back with Mike. I want to thank you all once again for joining me. I hope you have a great evening, and until next time, so long from the Bluegrass State.